Hey everyone, and welcome! When someone's facing a serious illness, pretty much all the focus goes to the medical treatments, right? The surgeries, the medications. But what about the massive emotional weight of it all? Today, we're diving into a whole different set of tools that are transforming palliative care by going way beyond the prescription to treat the whole person. And that really gets us to the heart of it, to this one big question. What if healing is about more than just medicine? What if our own minds, our own emotions, could be these incredibly powerful allies in managing all that suffering? It's a huge shift in how we think about care. Because let's be real, the burden of a serious illness is just immense. And you're not just talking about physical pain. Patients are often caught in this storm of profound anxiety, deep depression, endless sleepless nights, and just this overwhelming fear. These are the kinds of symptoms that can absolutely wreck a person's quality of life. And you can't always fix them with a pill. So, what's the answer? Well, it turns out we need to look at a deeper connection, that powerful, scientifically backed link between our minds, our bodies, and our medicine. And that's where this idea of mind-body therapies comes in. So what are they, exactly? Think of them as approaches that tap into the power of our own thoughts and emotions to actually influence our physical health for the better. The goal here isn't to cure the disease itself, it's to slash that stress and just dramatically improve a person's day-to-day well-being. And we're not talking about just one thing here, it's a whole toolkit. You've got mindfulness and meditation, deep relaxation and breathing techniques, even things like hypnosis and guided imagery. Then there's gentle movement like yoga and Tai Chi, or expressive outlets like music and art therapy. And honestly, a lot of these are becoming pretty standard in mainstream medicine, which is fantastic to see. Okay, so this all sounds really good in theory, but we need to know, what does the science actually say? Let's get into the evidence and see what the research shows. Which leads to the million-dollar question. Right, forget just feeling good for a moment. Is there actual hard proof that these therapies work to relieve symptoms? Well, the answer is a pretty loud and clear yes. And what's so cool is how specific the benefits are. This is not a one-size-fits-all deal. Take music therapy. Multiple clinical trials show it's a powerhouse for reducing anxiety, pain, even fatigue and nausea. Hypnosis. There's strong evidence it's great for managing pain and anxiety with practically no side effects. And meditation is proven to help with depression and getting a handle on your emotions. See, it's all about matching the right tool to the right problem for the best result. Now, of course, the evidence isn't rock solid for everything. For therapy like Reiki, the research is, a bit more mixed. But here's the crucial thing. It's considered super low risk. And for a lot of patients, just the supportive comfort and the deep sense of relaxation it can bring is a huge benefit all by itself, even while we're still studying exactly how it works. And this right here is probably the most important distinction to understand. Conventional medicine, it targets the disease. Its job is to cure or manage the physical illness. But these complementary therapies, they target the person's suffering. Their entire goal is to relieve symptoms and make life better. They're not competing. They're partners working together, each with a vital job to do. All right, so we know what these therapies are, and we know they work. But how do we actually, do it? How do we weave these into a real patient's care plan? Let's take a look at the roadmap. This 7-step plan really lays it all out. It kicks off with number 1. You gotta spot a patient's distress early on. Then step 2 is all about matching the right therapy to the right symptom. That targeted approach we were just talking about. Step 3. You integrate these therapies right into the main care plan, not just as some optional extra. And that takes step 4, getting the entire team on board. Doctors, nurses, therapists, everyone. Number 5 is so important. Educating patients and families, so this stuff becomes normal, a standard part of care. Then step 6 is about knocking down the barriers, things like training or access. And finally, step 7 closes the loop. You monitor the outcomes, see how much symptoms are improving, and really track that quality of life. So after all that, the problem, the therapies, the evidence, what's the one big idea you should walk away with? It's super simple. Enhance, not replace. This quote just nails it. Complementary therapies do not replace medical treatment. They enhance it. It's about giving doctors and nurses more tools to address suffering on every level: physical, emotional, spiritual. And that right there is the true definition of treating the whole person. And that really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If the goal of modern medicine really is to treat the whole person, not just the disease, well, then shouldn't we be using every safe, effective, evidence-based tool in the toolbox to get that job done?